Owning a home is full of surprises. Some wonderful, some not so much. And when something breaks, it can feel like the whole day unravels. That's why HomeServe exists. For as little as $4.99 a month, you'll always have someone to call. A trusted professional ready to help, bringing peace of mind to 4.5 million homeowners nationwide. For plans starting at just $4.99 a month, go to homeserve.com. That's homeserve.com. Not available everywhere. Most plans range between $4.99 to $11.99 a month your first year. Terms apply on covered repairs.
Are you noticing your car insurance rate creep up even without tickets or claims? You're not alone. That's why there's Jerry, your proactive insurance assistant. Jerry handles the legwork by comparing quotes side by side from over 50 top insurers so you can confidently hit buy. No spam calls, no hidden fees. Jerry even tracks rates and alerts you when it's best to shop. Drivers who save with Jerry could save over $1,300 a year. Don't settle for higher rates. Download the Jerry app or visit jerry.ai/libsyn today. That's jerry.ai/libsyn.
99-cent rental.
This is 99 Cent Rental. I'm your host, Brian White, and I'm joined, as always, by my co-host, Dave White. Hey, Dave, how you doing over there?
Hi. I'm all right. You know what I was thinking about today?
Is it Velvet Jones?
Was not Velvet Jones. Do you remember when Christy Noem's husband it was leaked that he was into bimbofication?
Yeah.
I was thinking we all let that go way too soon.
Just too much in the news. Too much in the news.
Yeah.
Can't be paying too much attention to weird big boob hypnosis fetish when
look,
you're bombing Iran.
I'm pretty hip, I think.
Yeah.
You know, I know I'm up on the trends. I had never heard that before.
A bimbofication?
Yeah, no,
I don't know. I have no idea why I even fucking know about it. It's just some shit that gets joked about and thrown around quite a bit.
Huh. Yeah, I think we all just let that slide way too soon.
It's just way too easy.
Here's fun stuff, and we throw that out too.
Yeah. You don't gotta be shamey about it, but you can have a laugh because it's objectively strange.
It is extremely odd. Yeah.
Huh.
Well.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know how much
America, you know.
Just everybody's insane. Everybody's absolutely insane these days. I think we've all been irreparably broken by the internet. It was a thing that was supposed to bring us together, and in some ways it has in very positive ways. But I think it mostly it's a net loss.
Yeah, no, absolutely, undeniably, we are a lesser people because of it, and we are certainly worse off.
Is like here's my question. Like a thing that I want to know is like, all of this stuff, this shit ain't new.
No.
This is we're talking about human desire and things which people find arousing.
Yeah, there's all kinds of stuff. People will fetishize anything.
I think it's got to go way back. What they do before the internet? That's what I want to know. Were there funny movies? Were there magazines?
Oh yeah. Yeah. I mean, like you used to be able to buy very specific magazines. And most of it was like shit you had to buy through the internet, like not through the internet, but like through the mail.
Yeah.
And like,
I wonder how you got one of those like a catalog of stuff that was just related to like sniffing armpits.
Yeah, I will guarantee you there were magazines just about that.
I remember years and years ago, like when there was a guy I'd made friends with through tape trading. He was somewhat local, and we hung out a couple of times. And he was a really good guy so he had a really interesting background in that he spent a long time living in Tokyo teaching English to salarymen as they're called.
Mm-hmm.
And he spoke Japanese fluently, and so he eventually kind of got tired of living over there because the kind of like the general like work culture in Japan is very, very hard to keep up with. And even as like a Westerner, you're sort of like expected to kind of keep up with that. And he just got tired of it. So he came back here, but he would
they literally have little coffins you sleep in the train station if you just don't see any point in going home.
Yeah.
That's helpful.
Yeah, it is. Right. But he came back over here and he had amassed a sort of collection of people who had that were sort of like the tape traders, but they had very specific requests of stuff that you just could not get through tape trading. Because
I feel like that's a real dangerous road to be going down.
Well, give me a moment, because I'm going somewhere with this. But like the thing with Japan is, for a very, very long time, they're kind of like their videotapes were sort of like, back before, DVD, Blu-ray, everything was available everywhere all at once. They were very isolationist in that respect. It was really, really hard to get like Japanese deep cuts. Nowadays, you just go to Indicator and you order whatever. They're coming up with the craziest bullshit you've ever heard of. But he would go over there.
You used to have to buy. You could buy them. You'd have to buy them like directly from Japan, someone in Japan, and they didn't have subtitles or translations.
Yeah,
so you'd just be watching a Japanese movie, and if you didn't speak Japanese, I guess you make it up as you go along.
Yeah, he was one of those people who would go over there and he would have these specific lists from people who wanted stuff. Most of the time it was movie posters, but he had a couple of people who wanted really, really specific pornography. And you can just go over there. They got porno superstores, several floors. It's like going to Tower Records in the 90s.
We used to, there was one in around here. Porno superstore.
Oh, no shit.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Not anymore, obviously. But.
And so he went over there and he told me about one that he got for a client it had no sexual content whatsoever. Nobody was fucking in this one. It was a nude woman on a surgical table, and a surgeon came in.
Don't like that.
And he performed surgery on her.
Yuck. Don't like it.
I won't go into the specifics. And then he closed her back up, and that was the end of the tape.
That is horrific.
That sounds like something like from like a fucking David Cronenberg video, like a movie, or like a Brian De Palma movie where like somebody stumbles onto something they should not have seen, and like that's the kind of stuff. Nobody dies, nothing criminal, just incredibly fucking weird for a really specific kink.
But if you feel like that can go. That can get dark real fast.
It's so snuff adjacent, that's why, like, he was telling me, I was like, did anybody ever do ask you for anything weird? He's like, oh yeah, this one time. And he told me about that. I was like, fuck, that's messed up.
That's unsettling.
Yeah. Whew.
Well,
hey, sexual pathology, huh? Boy, it's hard to explain to someone who never had the experience what a trip to the video store was like back in the day. And the shelves were choked with absolutely bizarre crap made on tiny budgets, completely divorced from any recognizable reality, and it was the best, except for the instance that I just described. We intend to talk about every one of them. And just before we get into it, a little housekeeping. If you want to keep up with us between episodes, you can also find us on Instagram at Bring Me the Axe Pod. Dave's over there at that Werewolf. And if you don't know, we have another show called Bring Me the Axe. Our latest episode covering The Wicker Man is out now.
Corn rigs, you say?
Yeah, corn rigs. We'll tell you all about them because we got that information. We'll tell you what a corn rig is.
Bonnie.
But they are Bonnie. At least that's what the song keeps telling us. Also, you get a little of that John Barleycorn action. Hot John Barleycorn action. That's The Wicker Man, out now. We'll be back next week with a look at the ghastly horror sci-fi of Alien. You can also contact us directly at 99centrentalpod@gmail.com with any questions, comments, or suggestions. Do let us know if there's a cheesy movie that you love, would like to hear us give it the business. And if you would like to support us on Patreon, you can look us up over there at patreon.com. Yeah.
Oh, it seems like that must be a bargain. You get a lot of stuff.
That's the thing. Let me tell you about all the value you get for $5. Subscribers at the $5 a month tier can look forward to a bi-weekly X-Files rewatch pod. Do you think I'm spooky? The latest episode is a look at the Season 2 episode Endgame, the conclusion to the Colony Myth Arc episode that we just did a couple of weeks ago. Yep, there's also
some real good ones coming up.
Ooh, we got some real good ones coming up, yeah. There's also our monthly Bring Me the Axe Millennium Edition, which is a bonus episode in which we explore a modern horror movie. Current episode is a look at the punk rock violence of Green Room. It's heavy.
Gross.
It's heavy.
Got some real gross moments in that movie.
Paying members get access to additional channels, voice and video chat, and the watch parties option. We watched this one the other night.
How did people feel about this film?
Wasn't as yakety yak as it usually is. We were a little quiet taking it in. This movie's fucking intense.
Okay.
Yeah, not Not a funny. Well, I mean, there's funny moments, but not a movie that elicits a lot of laughter. You know. Yeah. Also, hey, all you paying members, you get ad-free episodes.
That must be nice.
Yeah. And once again, that's patreon.com/bringmetheaxpod. And lastly,
give me your money.
All of it. Just sign it over. No, you can't.
Big bags with the dollar signs on it.
You know, Gene Simmons told Kevin Smith that he was trying to copyright that.
What? A bag with a money sign?
A bag with a money sign on it.
Gene Simmons seems like he's not a very bright man.
I don't think it went over. I don't think you can do that.
No.
Yep. We're lastly, if you like what you hear, subscribe to us wherever you get your podcasts. We're also on YouTube. Search us by name and subscribe if you prefer to consume your podcast that way. And you'll be doing us a favor by leaving us a 5-star review on Apple Podcasts and Spotify. So get to it. Take a moment. Just a little. Just you're listening right now. You've probably got your phone right there. Just pick it up. Have a look. The little probably it's in that little area where the ... button. Mm-hmm. Just hit that. Oh. There's a thing for reviews. You leave a review, and it helps us out, and it makes us feel good.
It does.
Yeah.
You know, people say nice things sometimes, and I like to hear that. You know, we do this.
It's
podcast
pleasing. It's fucking validating, man. I love it.
When you make stuff and you put it out into the world, and you don't really hear it back, it's just sort of like, who am I making this for? Do people like it?
It's beautiful. And if you listen on YouTube, do us a favor and give the episode a like and leave a comment. We love hearing from you guys. Just want to get that all out of the way right at the top of the show so we can fucking hit you with this trailer. This is a good fucking trailer. This is not the original. This is not the original trailer, though.
No, this is the reissue, like the anniversary one or whatever.
Yeah, from 2016, I think. Anyway, here it is.
Beneath the surface of the perfect small town, a dark world awaits.
Are you the one that found the ear?
You know anything?
Well, one name that keeps coming up is this woman's singer.
I'll bet someone could learn a lot by getting into that woman's apartment.
I don't know if you're a detective or a pervert.
Well, it's for me to know and you to find out.
What are you doing in my apartment?
I close my eyes, then I get away.
Hey! Who is this?
Into the magic night.
Don't be a good neighbor to her.
Softly say,
I'll send you straight to her!
with you.
I love you!
Dreams I talk to you. In
Ready or not, here I come. Here's to an interesting experience, huh?
I'll drink to that.
You know, I'll tell you what, it'd be great if they didn't
Give away the ending.
They didn't show Jeffrey killing Frank Booth in the trailer.
Yeah. Hey, here's a big off the top thought. I think I'm on record as Mulholland Drive, one of my favorite movies.
Yep.
I think you can see him. I think that's the pinnacle of his career.
Mm-hmm.
Outstanding movie. You can see him getting closer and closer with each movie.
Yes. Yeah. So this is, and I'm not like the first
Sort of
person
starting
to say this.
here.
This is because this is the first time that like David Lynch is really being David Lynch. You know, I don't feel like Eraserhead is terribly representative of his overall work.
No,
It's
that
just-
feels like he's stretching out a short film.
Yeah. The Elephant Man,
Same.
not really. It's a good movie.
Mm-hmm.
But it's not a David Lynch movie.
No.
In spite of the fact that it has his name on, he directed it. But it's not Lynchian. There's Dune, which is Lynchian in certain ways, but I like that movie for all the wrong reasons. That is an objectively terrible movie.
Yes, and he agrees with you.
Yeah.
Well, he did agree with you.
But this
Rest
is
his
the
soul.
God bless him. Saint David Lynch up there with the Ascended Masters. This is the one where you start to see, this is the one where it is like, okay, shit, this is what he's going to do for the rest of his life. He is going to be working out weird ideas, dreams he's had, notions of identity and duality. It's all right here. And like, this is also the seeds of Twin Peaks. Like, I think that he really fucking nails it with Twin Peaks, but there is no Twin Peaks without Blue Velvet.
Yeah, I absolutely agree. Because it is, I mean, Twin Peaks feels like, again, he's taking steps towards the thing he's building to, which is this kind of epic Hollywood film. And this one feels like a stripped down Twin Peaks. A little bit darker, maybe not quite as whimsical.
Yeah. It has none of the like overt comedy. There's not as much singing and fucking dancing in this one. Though there is a little.
Because Twin Peaks to me feels like a soap opera. I mean,
it's a soap opera.
It's supposed to feel like a soap opera, but this one does not. This feels like a noir film.
Same themes, none of the soap opera overtures.
There's not a lot of camp here.
Yeah. And what's really, really weird to me is, from everything that I have read about David Lynch, everything that I have seen, he was a beloved character. People really liked him, and everybody had nothing but great things to say about him. He was a happy-go-lucky character, and yet there was a darkness in his personality that he sort of expressed through movies like this one.
I don't know if there was a darkness in his personality or if he just recognized that there is darkness in the world.
Well, there's that, because this is one of the first movies that he really kind of plays with ideas that are you see very present in his more kind of hermetic work, like again Twin Peaks, which is, you know, there is no light, you know, the struggle between the light and the darkness, the fact that it is this sort of like dual characteristic that we all carry within us.
Yeah.
Fucking A. This is one of my favorite David Lynch movies. It's one of my favorite movies, period. Mostly
I'm not that hot on this one.
I think you'd made that kind of clear when we were going.
I like it. I think it's a good movie. It doesn't do for me the same thing that like Firewalk with Me does. Or
Well, he's not. I think I can get with that because he's not fully developed yet. This is still a little undercooked.
I also think, because I was thinking about what is it? Why is this one not like? Because everybody fucking loves this movie, and you know, like I said, good movie. I enjoy it, but why is it not doing it? And I think because what this one is lacking that the other ones have is that there's a element of like genuine humanity in those movies that's not quite present here. This feels like homage. It feels like a fantasy movie in a lot of ways. Those feel like he is using fantasy, or he's using his sort of weird style to tell a very human story. He's kind of doing that here. I just don't, it doesn't hit the same way.
Yeah, I can get with that. So here's some facts about this here movie. The year was 1986.
Heard of it, yeah.
Year of our Lord. There are some other movies that were released in 1986. Firewalker.
It's not a good film.
Firewalker. It's Chuck Norris and Lou Gossett Jr. in an Indiana Jones ripoff.
Terrible film.
I don't remember the last time I've seen it. I remember nothing about it.
I think the last time I saw it was probably in 1986.
Also 1986, Mala Noche.
No,
Gus Van Sant's first movie based on Walt Curtis's autobiography, where he, a grown-ass man, lusts after a very underage Mexican boy who speaks no English and finds Curtis repulsive.
Look, I have made my stance on Gus Van Sant very clear.
You know, it bothers me.
He should be on a list somewhere.
It bothers me like crazy that he's also a really good filmmaker.
Sometimes.
Yeah. Also in 1986, Pirates, which is Roman Polanski's dog shit period epic with Walter Matthau as a salty old sea dog.
I just saw that's getting like a deluxe Blu-ray release.
Nobody needs that.
Why?
Nobody needs that. All right. Jesus Christ. Listen, boutiques. Just because you can get a license doesn't mean you should buy a license.
Look, we found it at the bottom of the barrel.
just scientists were so concerned with what they could do, they didn't know if they didn't stop to think about if they should.
That's right.
In 1986, Jumpin' Jack Flash, which is a Whoopi Goldberg spy comedy directed by Penny Marshall. I recall loving the shit out of that movie when I saw it.
Because it's peak Whoopi.
Yeah.
And
I've not seen it since. I've not seen it since 1986. I remember Mom rented it for us when she and Dad were going out one night, and I remember really loving it. But I've never seen it since then.
Penny Marshall, she's a good director. I like her.
League of Their Own.
Yeah.
You know, it's a good movie. Yeah, Laverne and Shirley, come on.
I mean,
Jesus. And lastly, 1986, Wise Guys, Brian De Palma, Danny DeVito, Joe Piscopo.
That's really where you lose me.
It's
like, I heard Brian De Palma and I was like, then I hear Danny DeVito and I'm like,
I love Brian De Palma. I believe this is the movie that he fucking followed up Body Heat with. Or Body Double.
Heat's
not Body Heat. Body Double.
Yeah. That one's not very good. I watched it recently. It's got some things about it that are good, but
been a little while since I've seen it, but I love it.
Yeah.
I loved it when last time I saw it, but I am on record as being a big Brian De Palma fan. It is an exhausting mess from a director who I wouldn't exactly describe as funny, and starring comedian Joe Piscopo, who I also
use
wouldn't
the word
describe
comedian real loosely here.
Who I also wouldn't describe as funny. Fuck. So cast and crew, as mentioned, our director is Saint David Lynch, beatified by the papacy.
That's right.
It's real. Look it up. It's on the internet.
David Susan Lynch. Beautiful man.
Boy named Sue. In his second feature for Dino De Laurentiis, following the Oscar success of the 1980s The Elephant Man, David Lynch was suddenly in great demand. When you win an Oscar, you can pretty much do whatever you want. See also Roger Avery, Pulp Fiction, and his determination to make a Phantasm sequel for a major studio.
Roger Avery can suck it. He's a terrible man.
I don't know shit about him. All I know is that he did Pulp Fiction and seems to have cashed out.
He has a podcast.
I don't want to listen to it.
And he sucks.
Yeah. I mean, what is it about him that sucks? Because this is like
super transphobic.
Oh, Jesus. Eat shit, Roger Avery. Yeah, fuck that shit. Nobody needs that in their life.
And I think he's like pretty hardcore right wing.
Yeah, all right. Ultimately, it was Dino De Laurentiis who cut a significant deal with Lynch, signing him on to direct the ill-fated Dune adaptation that everybody who had the option struggled with for fucking ever. Unfortunately, the movie tanked hard and took most of Lynch's leverage with it. He had a script for something called Ronnie Rocket that sounds big and just too weird, particularly for a guy flailing after a big-budget failure that was expected to be a smash hit, though I think that's more on Dino De Laurentiis than anything else.
He said of Dune, David Lynch said, "It was a nightmare for me. I died a death."
That's very Lynchian.
It's great.
So he cut a deal with DDL to make a movie that gave him total creative freedom and final cut privilege, but with the requirement that the movie cost under $6 million and be no longer than 2 hours long.
He had to give up half of his salary.
That's right. Yeah, he had to take a significant pay cut
for final cut approval. He had to take basically half his salary, and he enthusiastically agreed to it.
Well, the reason that he did is because this meant that Dino De Laurentiis couldn't fuck with them.
Yeah, Dino De Laurentiis is quite notorious for being overly involved.
To such a degree that in some of the movies that he's meddled with, he could probably get a director's credit.
And he, as far as I know, is like he didn't have very good taste.
No, but he had great business instinct.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. This movie, credits included, is 2 hours to the second.
Yep.
So Blue Velvet at the time was a series of just ideas with no connective tissue, but it came together quickly as he was left alone in Wilmington, North Carolina, where DDL was producing most of his movies at the time. He earned an Oscar nomination for Best Director for this movie.
I think it's worthy.
Didn't get Best Picture. None dared take that chance.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know what the other shit was that year, but I don't know that this would have. I don't know if it's Best Picture worthy.
No,
but I also don't put too much stock in the Oscars. So,
no, but it definitely rescued him from the sort of career low that he was at.
Oh yeah, he was so depressed. Like I was reading about it today. Like he was just devastated by Dune. Mostly because I think he's one of those guys. He's like John Carpenter or David Cronenberg, where when he's given someone else's material, he just doesn't know what to do with it.
Yeah.
Like it's got to be his own or it's a fumble.
Yeah. And I think honestly, because he was also being courted by like George Lucas and shit, he was probably like just really excited. Like, holy shit, like I'm a fucking movie director now. These people want me. They want me to make movies with huge budgets. And he read Dune and liked it. And I can see why. It's very much something that David Lynch could kind of tune into. But he is not a fucking epic sci-fi guy whatsoever. It was definitely not a project for him.
No, he's too weird.
Too weird. No. Cast includes Kyle MacLachlan in his second movie for Lynch. The role was originally offered to Val Kilmer and like a fucking million other guys.
Yeah, the alternative casting on this movie is insane.
It's really, really long. Kilmer was also up for Paul Atreides in Dune, but he and several other actors recoiled from the movie's combination of violence and sex. Kyle's first lead role was Dune, with only an uncredited extra role in The Changeling coming before it. Yeah, he's one of the students in the sort of in the background.
I mean, I'll tell you, he is absolutely adorable in this. Very charming, all-American boy.
One of my favorite actors.
He's great, and he seems like a really good person.
Yeah. Seems like he's having a really just good time these days.
Yep. One of the other people that he wanted when Val Kilmer turned it down was Chris Isaac.
Yeah.
Just weird, because Chris
there's
Isaac
like
wasn't an actor.
there's a bunch of people in this who were like eventually end up in David Lynch movies, but they looked at this one and were like, I don't think I can fucking do this one.
Which I would say, given the rest of his career, this is not the weirdest one.
Nope. So these early roles open up to a significant career in film and television, which continues to this day in shows like Desperate Housewives, Sex and the City, Portlandia, which I'd completely forgotten about. He's the mayor of Portland. And most recently, Fallout. Mm-hmm. And then we've got Isabella Rossellini.
Weird choice.
Weird lady. One of David Lynch's muses. She's the daughter of actors Ingrid Bergman and Roberto Rossellini, and found early work in France as a model for various brands and designers, with a few early roles in European movies. But she came to the United States to act in the 1985 Cold War intrigue / dance movie White Nights with Mikhail Baryshnikov.
Mm-hmm. She was also a journalist. While she was doing that, she was writing for an Italian newspaper.
That's crazy. She's got the strangest career trajectory.
Yeah, because now she makes like documentaries about animal sex.
Yeah, and she trains dogs.
Yeah, she's a strange lady.
I like her.
The role of Dorothy he wrote it for Debbie Harry.
I saw that, but I could not find any corroborating evidence of that. Like we'd have to ask Love Connie about that.
Well, I think he wrote it with her in mind. Like I think.
Okay, because
but then she was like, I don't want to do another weird role.
Yeah,
no, thank you.
Yeah. So
instead, he then went to Karen Allen, Jodie Foster, Angelica Houston, Diane Keaton, Sybil Shepherd, Sissy Spacek, Sigourney Weaver, Helen Mirren, Helen Hunt, and Meryl Streep.
My God. Oh, Jesus Christ. Yeah. Helen Mirren apparently was on board for a little while, and then she dropped out. And then
she was doing another movie, I think, and it was like running long or whatever.
Yeah.
But he ended up with Isabella Rossellini because Martin Scorsese, who she was married to at the time, had like a ton of respect for David Lynch and was like really into him. And he was like, you should check it out. And so she was like, all right, I'll go do a read for it and see how it goes. And she ended up having like a lot of good chemistry with Kyle MacLachlan. And so they were like, fuck it, let's do it.
She had apparently she had a meeting, like a dinner with him that was set up, and they just kind of talked about it. And the two of them, each other, were just fucking smitten with the other person.
Mm-hmm.
And so, yeah. Also, this movie led to her agent dropping her.
Weird.
Yeah. It leads to a fruitful relationship with Lynch, whom she dated for 5 years. And then a few years later, she turns in another career high point, and death becomes her, invests heavily in training guide dogs, and designs and produces from the ground up a web series called Green Porno about the sex lives of insects, in which she also performs as the insects. She is a weird lady, and I kind of love her vibe.
I read it was a sort of a sad thing she said, because this movie was very polarizing. Mm-hmm. And when she was like, when people loved it, they credited David Lynch. And she was like,
Yeah.
and rightfully so, this is his project.
Yeah.
But then she was like, but when they hated it, they blamed it on me and they said really cruel shit to them.
That's so shitty. That's so shitty. I can see where the impulse for that might come from, because her character in this is tough.
Yeah, it's a weird character.
And I think that she makes men feel very weird.
Mm-hmm.
You know?
She's also, I think, of the cast, she's one of the weaker actors. Like,
Sure.
you're at a cast of really, really heavy hitters, like really good actors. She was kind of new to acting, and she's just not, like, it seems like acting was never really her thing. Like, she just kind of did it because it was there.
Yeah. Yeah. And she's got her parents' legacy to kind of deal with.
Yep.
Yeah. So lastly, we got Dennis Hopper struggling with a career low point in 1986. His earliest role is a side role in Rebel Without a Cause, and then again with James Dean in Giant. He acts in various small roles in major pictures or large parts in smaller indies, appearing in the weirdo space vampire movie Queen of Blood, which I love. I love that one. It's so good.
He was also in that first Curtis Harrington movie.
Yeah, he's in Kurt Harrington's 1961 Night Tide. And then which, again, God, I love the Kurt Harrington effect on people. Because, like, Kurt Harrington is the one who introduced Kenneth Anger to Aleister Crowley. He introduces Dennis Hopper to Aleister Crowley, who then introduces Dean Stockwell to Aleister Crowley. Very, very weird connection.
And then they all end up in this movie together.
That's right.
I'm sure Aleister Crowley's in there somewhere.
Gotta be. And then he takes the world by storm in 1969 with the biker movie acid epic Easy Rider, which puts him firmly at the crest of the new Hollywood wave crashing into the 1970s. But his drug habits got the best of him, and some highly publicized freakouts put him on the outs with the studio mainstream, and Hopper slummed it until 1986 when he picked up Tobe Hooper's Texas Chainsaw sequel, the extremely bleak teenage burnout movie River's Edge, Hoosiers, and then this movie for which he won a ton of acclaim and scared the shit out of everyone.
And he
honestly,
had to beg for this movie. He desperately wanted it. And because he had burned so many bridges at that point, but he was like, I'm sober now. I can take this seriously. I'll do a really good job. And I think David Lynch was like, all right, let's give it a go.
Yeah.
And it sort of like revitalized his career.
He apparently declared to David Lynch, like, I have to have this role because I am Frank, which, whoo.
Not sure that's a thing you want to claim.
Apparently other people who were up for it, Michael Ironside was the first pick. And then fucking when he was like, yeah, no thanks, Harry Dean Stanton was the next pick. He turned down the role.
He said he just didn't want to do anything. He didn't want to do something so violent.
Yeah. I can't see either of those guys in this.
I can't either. Harry Dean Stanton's such a timid person. Or
he's so sleepy. But again, he's one of these guys who like comes back and does.
Yeah, you need
does
someone,
David Lynch movies.
Well, you need someone with intensity, and Dennis Hopper had a shitload of intensity.
Yeah, he really fucking brings it for this. I think, honestly, like, Dennis Hopper is primarily the reason why I like this movie as much as I do, because that character is a nightmare. Mm-hmm. And he does it so well. And I don't think this movie would be nearly as memorable as it is without him.
Yeah. You know who else was in this and her scene eventually got cut?
Megan Mullally. Yep. Yeah. I watched some of the deleted scenes and she has a very small part at the very beginning.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Oh, also, Stephen Burkoff was I believe the original very first pick for this, and he was connected to it for a while, and then whatever he was working on was running long. Or no, he was another person who looked at the script and was like, yeah, I don't want this. He said there's nothing here but destruction.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, by the way, he was the villain from Beverly Hills Cop in the and James Bond movie Octopussy.
Yeah, I can't really see. I mean, I guess I can see Michael Ironside in it. I just don't think he would have been as good. Nowhere near as good.
No, like he's really great. He does a fucking fantastic, like, very intense villain in Scanners.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, other than that, like, yeah. Following this movie, Lynch regular Jack Nance called Hopper, begging him for help with his alcoholism. So Hopper lured him out to his place with the promise of drugs and alcohol, and then pulled the old switcheroo and checked him into rehab.
Tied him up in the basement.
Just hit him with a butterfly net. No, unfortunately, Jack Nance could just never get free of his alcoholism. It's one of the things.
I like Jack Nance in everything.
In everything.
Yep.
Yeah. This is also square one for a lot of working relationships with David Lynch regulars. We get Laura Dern, who stars in Lynch's Follow. She was 17 in this movie.
Mm-hmm. He wanted Molly Ringwald for it, and her mother read the script and was like, "Nope."
She would have been just coming off of Breakfast Club.
Yep.
My God. She stars in the follow-up to this movie, Wild at Heart, which is another one I fucking love. Man, does he get a performance out of Nicolas Cage in that one. There's also, as we mentioned, Jack Nance played Henry Spencer in Lynch's first feature, Eraserhead, and Brad Dourif is also here, also off the back of Dune.
And Brad Dourif is perfectly cast in this.
He's got that nervous.
He's like a hyena,
mm-hmm.
and just like cackling and like chittering the whole time. He's very strange.
Cocaine energy.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So Lynch's idea for this movie goes back to some of his earliest experiments in film, and in a lot of ways, you can see the earliest pieces of his magnum opus. I think his magnum opus is Twin Peaks, but I'll also give you Mulholland Drive.
I think Twin Peaks is it's in too many pieces.
Okay. It's way too much of an investment.
Yeah. It's just too big. And it's too sprawling, and it doesn't feel consistent. Like it obviously is, but like it's because it's filmed at so many different times. I think it feels like it's a little choppy.
You can see all of that just kind of wrapped up in this movie. He had a title, the concept of the severed ear being an opening to someone's mind, and the mood that the song evoked.
He said that he saw the ear in his head. He was like, okay, it's good. And then he heard the song and he was like, it was a moody song, isn't it?
Yeah.
And it was just like it all sort of came together for him.
God, he has got such an ear for like spooky, very moody songs. Cause like, I don't know what it is about Roy Orbison that affects me in the way that it does, but like there is something so fucking haunting in that guy's voice.
Was it his tragic life?
It's gotta be.
His wife and children died, I think. His children died while he and his wife were away.
It's unreal. Like there is such a fucking sadness in the guy's voice, and I think that's what like makes him so fucking memorable. But whenever I hear a Roy Orbison song, like something deep inside me stirs, and like I'm like, ooh, I don't know if I like how that feels. But like he hears it too, because like there's this, and then there's sort of in Mulholland Drive there's crying,
which is the song, I believe, the song he wanted to use in this, and he couldn't get Roy Orbison wouldn't let them. And he wouldn't let them use this or the other one, and then they found a way around it to use it, and then I guess he saw it and he was like,
"Oh yeah, I got a little note about that. It was actually, yeah, so it was that, but I think he changed his mind when he heard the lyrics to "In Dreams," because there's parts of it. Basically the scene where Dennis Hopper is like speaking the lyrics at Jeffrey right before he kicks his ass. They're very relevant to the story that's being told.
Mm-hmm.
So there's also like the mood that the song Blue Velvet kind of evokes is a sort of American hangover from the 1950s. Dreamy vocal groups and teen idol pop stars that were kind of a part of a pop culture American illusion of the period. The song comes out a year before the Beatles single-handedly revived 4-piece guitar rock bands and dragged the world out of these safe and very soft pop stars. Lynch was reeling from the absolutely rotten experience making Dune and the equally rotten critical and commercial performance of the movie, but De Laurentiis loved David Lynch and believed in him.
Yep. So here's how the story kind of goes. Like, he is coming off of he writes the first draft of this movie. He writes it in the late 70s, and it's kicking around. It goes around to all these different people, and everybody passes because it's really violent and it's like sexually explicit. And he has this bad failure with Dune, and I think after they had made it, De Laurentiis was like, well, hey, do you got anything else? And he was like, well, I have this idea, I have this story. And he's like, he tells him about it, and he reads the script. He's like, this is great. He's like, I don't understand it, but I like you a lot, and you're really good at stuff. And he was like, do you own it? And David Lynch was like, yeah, absolutely. It turns out that he actually didn't anymore. Warner Brothers owned it at that point.
Oh, shit. Okay, I did not know that part.
And so De Laurentiis got on the phone, and the way that Lynch tells it is he gets on the phone, and within 3 minutes, he had bought it back.
No shit.
Yeah. And
I fucking love
what
this.
the fuck would they want for it?
I love, God damn it. I love Dino De Laurentiis.
Yeah, he said it was a beautiful experience, is what David Lynch said about it.
Because what
they end up doing though is because they make the movie and no distributor will take it. They're like, this is
I got a note about that shit too. Yeah,
and so De Laurentiis, so he not only funds the movie, he fully funds the distribution and the promotion.
He doesn't just fully fund it; he forms a distribution arm of his own company because
that's how much he believes in him.
Because it doesn't even end there. Like, his support of David Lynch is a beautiful, beautiful thing. He was like, this man is absolutely brilliant, and nobody but me is going to put this shit out. And I'm pretty sure that he was right about that.
Yeah, like if said after they finished this one, he said, well, what else do you have? And David Lynch had an idea for a movie about a 3-foot-tall man who was the greatest guitarist in the world. Okay. He said it was amazingly, spectacularly weird.
Yeah. So that actually, the stuff that all the research that I had done, that's a movie called Ronnie Rocket that apparently he had pretty much fully written with the intent of casting Michael J. Anderson in it. Ooh. And it was about a guy who basically needs to be plugged into electricity all the time. And so he's like a musician and he can like command electricity and
sounds great.
And it was like a music movie, and everybody who looked at it was like, this is fucking awesome, but nobody's going to produce this movie. And then De Laurentiis was like, what else you got? And he's like, well, there's Blue Velvet. And then he just started like making shit up on the fly.
Yep. Good stuff.
Yep. So, yeah, the initial budget of the movie was $10 million, but if Lynch could get it under $6 million, De Laurentiis contractually would leave him alone and stay hands off. And so producers at DEG wouldn't shell out for the license to the original 1963 version of Blue Velvet. So Angelo Badalamenti recorded a new version that sounded very similar to the original and then hired Bobby Vinton to come back in and sing the lyrics.
Mm-hmm. But eventually they ended up, because David Lynch was like, yeah, I liked it. It sounded really good. He was like, but it's not the original, and we needed the original. So he eventually did get De Laurentiis to pay for the original.
Awesome. Yeah, because they were weird about the music.
Yeah,
like DEG was very strange about the music. Like they wouldn't even touch the Roy Orbison one.
I imagine it's just because it's so expensive.
Probably. Look, music licensing is a pretty expensive game.
Yeah.
But the original cut of the movie landed at around 4 hours.
Nope, no thank you. No thank you, David Lynch. I like your movies a lot, but no.
No. Lynch whittled it down to 2 on the dot by cutting a ton of side characters around Lumberton and some character building stuff, including an early scene in the movie where Jeffrey attends a college party and watches from the shadow as a guy rapes a girl in the basement under the party.
Kind of glad they didn't leave that in.
Yeah. Test screenings were fucking brutal. Test audiences absolutely hated the movie, but they were also showing it to audiences in these bedroom communities around Los Angeles, people who were enthusiastic for the Goonies and Back to the Future, and De Laurentiis gave them this fucking nightmare. And
admittedly, it is a bizarre movie. Like it's a linear story-ish, but you end with so many questions.
Yeah.
It's not clear what the point is.
You're showing a bunch of people who want a popcorn movie, a fucking David Lynch movie, where you come out the other side and it's like, I guess it has a happy ending.
So Isabella Rossellini, I was reading about, because she was like, I and a lot of the other people in the movie and working on the movie really sort of struggled to understand what it was about. Turns out it's not really about anything. But she said that he told her something once that really helped her understand the movie and then sort of his work more broadly. Here's what he said. He said, in life, you don't know everything. You enter a room and people are sitting there and there's an atmosphere and you immediately know if you have to be careful about what you say or if you have to be loud or silent or subdued. You immediately know it. The thing you don't know is what's next. So in life, we don't know where the story is going or even where a conversation is going in the next minute.
I fucking love that.
And I think, as it's a little abstract, but I think it actually does sort of sum it up where he's like, we're just watching a thing unfold.
Yeah. Yeah.
And so that's why it doesn't necessarily, it's like, who knows what you don't know if something makes sense until long after it's happened.
Yeah. Yeah, which is like what is essentially happening in this movie, and I think it's why they cut that early scene of Jeffrey in the basement under the party, is because he's supposed to be kind of us in the movie. Like he's the surrogate for us, and we need to be able to get behind him like immediately. He needs to be that kind of blank slate. We can't go into the movie like 10 minutes in and be like, oh, this guy's a fucking creep, because I mean ultimately he is a creep, but
ish, yeah,
but yeah.
There's another great anecdote that I was reading from Fred Caruso, the producer. He said when he first met Lynch, when they started making the movie, he said, I met him, and one of the things he recognized right away, he said he was wearing black sneakers. He said there was a weird black, and he later learned that David Lynch would buy white shoes and spray paint them black. And I was like, that explains David Lynch, like everything about him.
It was this one shade of black that you could only get through spray paint. Yeah. Despite feedback calling for the public execution of David Lynch, De Laurentiis tossed out all the feedback, insisting that these people didn't know shit, and then he released it as is.
I mean, you gotta love him. Dino De Laurentiis, he's a tricky guy.
Yeah.
But he really stood behind these people. Like, if he liked people, he would just invest in them. Look at all the fucking garbage Stephen King stuff he cranked out. Just because he loved Stephen King.
He let Stephen King make his own movie.
Mm-hmm.
Jesus. Also, the Dorothy Valens character was inspired by Lynch's fascination with Judy Garland and The Wizard of Oz, which he explores more fully in the follow-up to this movie, Wild at Heart. But man, that's a fucking dark-ass story, and you can totally see it, because, man, the studios were brutal to Judy Garland. A fucking horrible life.
I mean, to everybody, but
but man,
to her in particular.
Yeah. And also Frank Booth's use of gas is a very particular part of the story that Lynch always envisioned. It was like always a part of the story. Mm-hmm. However, it seems to affect him like cocaine, suggesting that he might be using amyl nitrate, but it's never clearly defined what it is that he's huffing. In the original script, however, Lynch intended for Frank to inhale helium
How awesome would that have been?
Like, because I could not imagine him being like, fuck you, you fucking fucker. But like doing it in that like helium Pee Wee Herman voice.
Yeah. So Dennis Hopper said, he was like, at the time I thought it was really stupid. He was like, and then after I saw the movie and then I thought about it, he was like, that would have been so weird and really cool.
See, all I can think of is don't torture a duckling, because like we've seen what happens when the killer does something really silly with their voice. Yeah. So yeah, he wanted him to inhale helium so his voice would take on the helium voice quality, but it struck him at a certain point that it might just make the audience laugh when he was actually trying to scare them. Yeah. And then lastly, my last note. Autosassinophilia is a paraphilia in which the subject is aroused by the fantasy and risk of being hurt or killed.
That's a tough one.
That is a relevant
quality
of this movie.
A lot of psychological stuff wrapped up in that.
And there are several people who have been murdered consensually because of that.
Yeah, that's not cool.
Nah.
I mean, I don't want to kink shame, but sometimes you gotta.
You just gotta let that shit go. Maybe see somebody.
Yeah.
So, where are the press on this?
A bit of a mix. Mostly positive, but a bit of a mix. Because this movie was very successful critically. It was not very successful commercially. Not at first, anyway. Let's start with the Boston Globe. J-Car. Blue Velvet is the film we knew David Lynch had in him ever since he first surfaced with Eraserhead. A riveting, complex, layered film with a distinctive and highly vivid directorial signature. With the edges of almost every frame dissolving in inky blackness, which is a thing I love about this movie, Blue Velvet will be too pungent and bizarre for the reassurance-seeking mainstream, but it's genuinely provocative. The American underworld film of the decade, even if its velvety gloss seems malignant.
I do love that remark about the blackness in this, because again,
it's used to great effect.
As we come to see in like future David Lynch movies, particularly like if you go back and you listen to our episode about Mulholland Drive, like he is all up in the use of color in that one to sort of represent something, and he's doing it again in this one. And so like the blackness isn't just fucking black, it's like the total absence of light.
Yes.
You know, there's
until someone appears out of it.
Yeah, and there's reds and there's blues and there's yellows, which again were the sort of primary colors of symbolism in Mulholland Drive as well.
Do you have the criterion of this?
Yeah,
it looks great.
This
is a movie that really benefits from that upgrade.
Yeah, for sure.
Janet Maslin, New York Times. Old Gray Lady.
The Old Gray Lady.
With Bobby Vinton on the soundtrack, Mr. Lynch presents the blue skies, trim flower beds, and sweet little houses of a suburbia so perfect that it looks surreal. It is surreal, but its surface is hardly impermeable. Blue Velvet is overloaded with the kinds of piquant little details that would stand up nicely to the repeat viewings it will undoubtedly receive. When it comes to the larger points that might give its plot some semblance of rationality, though, it is sorely and maybe even deliberately lacking. For those with the temerity to follow it anywhere, Blue Velvet is as fascinating as it is freakish. It confirms Mr. Lynch's stature as an innovator, a superb technician, and someone best not encountered in a dark alley.
All right. I mean, fair review, I think.
Mm-hmm. Let me tell you what the Gene Genie thought of it.
I don't think he liked it.
No, you'll be surprised.
Okay.
Blue Velvet is one powerful, mesmerizing thriller, a masterful exercise in controlling an audience's attention. It features a director completely in control of his material, as well as a series of fine, natural performances. It crosses the line of good taste, but so does real life. It also contains some of the year's best filmmaking. Skip it or steel yourself if you are squeamish, but come to the film open-minded if you're ready for a shocking and sometimes even funny adventure.
All right.
The one you're probably thinking of is this one.
Okay.
From Roger Ebert.
Yeah, that's the one I'm thinking of. I was confusing the two of them.
Blue Velvet contains scenes of such raw emotional energy that it's easy to understand why some critics have hailed it as a masterpiece. A film this painful and wounding has to be given special consideration. And yet those very scenes of stark sexual despair are the tip-off to what's wrong with the movie. They're so strong that they deserve to be in a movie that is sincere, honest, and true. But Blue Velvet surrounds them with a story that's marred by sophomoric satire and cheap shots. The director is either denying the strength of his material or trying to diffuse it by pretending it's all part of a campy in-joke. I don't see that.
I don't see any of that. I disagree with all of that review.
I think he just doesn't understand the movie. And also, believe me, I hate to say this, but to Roger Ebert's credit, there wasn't much precedent for what David Lynch was doing. Mm-hmm. We can now look back on it after his lifetime of films and say, I understand this to a certain extent. Whereas they're really going into this blind. And if you aren't ready for it or you aren't open to it, I think you can just see that it can feel like he just made this kind of silly garbage.
Yeah.
And he's kind of mocking the audience.
Huh.
Sheila Benson.
Oh, good.
Los Angeles Times. It's not as prosaic as I wanted it to be.
Her Picnic at Hanging Rock review is a fucking all-timer for this podcast. Yeah.
Blue Velvet is the most brilliantly disturbing film ever to have its roots in small-town American life. Shocking, visionary, rapturously controlled, its images of innocence and a dark, bruising sexuality drop straight into our unconscious where they rest like depth charges. Lynch believes in good as ardently as he taps into decadence. But keep a careful eye on his chirrupy ending. In a Lynch movie, the Robins of Happiness have a little something stomach-turning to offer, too.
That's not bad. Yeah.
She was into it.
That's a good, God. And again, it's lyrical. It's very Sheila Benson.
I will also say the extent to which people are like, it's so violent and the sexuality is disturbing. It has moments of violence that are a little bit upsetting. The fact that it's sexual violence is tricky, but it's not that violent. And the sexuality, maybe because we are a lot more open and aware of.
I was going to say, I think that we are looking at it from 2026. You go back 40 years, and people are not this level, this degree of violence of this kind, because it's not presented, because like there were movies at the time that would had a very troubling tendency to introduce sexual violence as titillating, as part of the movie's sexiness, which is really fucking gross and ugly.
Well, and I think that's what's so interesting about this, is that he's presenting you with this idea. Because sexual assault has been in movies pretty much from the beginning of movie making, and it's usually treated with varying degrees of seriousness. I think what he is doing is saying, here is sexual violence as stomach turning as it actually is.
Yeah. And
like,
so I think that
upsetting, and it should be, and you should not be able to look away.
It wasn't unique, but it was certainly rarer,
And but you know what? Roger Ebert's big gripe was that it's misogynistic. I don't see this movie as misogynistic at all. I can see why he might have thought that. Sure. But I also think that Siskel and Ebert really thought themselves as like, white knights kind of bullshit.
A little bit, yeah, for sure.
Standing up for the ladies, and it's like, yeah, sure, buddy. Whereas I think, the Isabella Rossellini character, she is, as much as she's being manipulated, she is still very much in control of her sexuality.
Yeah. Like she uses it as a survival mechanism.
Yeah.
There's a lot going on there with that character. And I think that, if you look at it just as a sort of surface level experience, like you're going to come away with, I think, the wrong messages. Cause again, it's David Lynch. And so identity is very much up for grabs.
That's why I think it's a little bit weird, because Roger Ebert, as much as I don't share his opinions very often, he was no dummy.
I was going to say, like, I would expect Gene Siskel to take this position, because I think, Roger Ebert, he was a smart guy. And in times he was a good writer. I think that he was definitely sharper and savvier than Gene Siskel. And in this case, he's just taking the L.
Yeah. Well, there is one more. This person also didn't like it. And this person is the IMDb user.
Oh, do they like anything? Nah.
How could a film this awful receive such high praise from the critics? The answer lies in the degeneration of our culture by 1986. This is essentially a teen slasher flick with more gruesomeness added on to bring the 15-year-old males into the theater. Trust me, lady, no 15-year-olds are going to see this movie.
No, they weren't.
It's simply disgusting and stupid. If you like to see a naked girl screaming and running about and a villain hurling 4-letter words like he threatens mayhem, this is just your flick. Shame on the critics. I imagine she's shaking a Bible in one hand because she's writing sloppily.
Clutching pearls so tight they turn to dust in her hand. Fucking Christ. Of course, it's somebody who's just so incensed at the collapse, the decline of our culture. My God. Well, we're going to dive into the movie right after these messages. All right, you ready?
Like to hear it? Here it goes.
Here we go. We open on the splendid majesty of sleepy Lumberton, Anytown, USA. It could be your town. It could be my town. That, I suppose, is the point. Unless you live in
my town.
Unless you live in a city, and this is about as alienated from your daily experience as a setting could get.
I mean, he really sets the mood and the tone right out of the gate, though.
Yeah. We see roses, a jerk riding an old-timey fire engine through the street, waving like a dummy in slow motion with his Dalmatian. We got yellow tulips, children on their way to school.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Over at the Beaumont residence, Mr. Beaumont waters the grass while Mrs. Beaumont relaxes inside, watching a movie on the television. Mr. Beaumont is unaware of the twisted hose. The pressure builds, and he suddenly
twisted hose. That one's for you, Eileen.
Pressure builds, and he suddenly falls to the ground, appearing to have a stroke. He falls down. As he falls, water is just spraying everywhere. The dog comedically attacks the water.
And he's also grabbing his head, which I think is what makes the scene a little bit more upsetting.
Yeah.
He doesn't die, obviously, but like, it's like clearly something very serious is happening. And it's being played comedically. It's all kind of contrasting, jarring moments.
Yeah, because the dog's all over the water. It's like, blah, 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 blah. And then this fucking baby just kind of stumbles into the frame.
Yep.
We pan to the grass, an extreme close-up of the lawn below the grass. An orgy of insects churn and grind violently beneath the surface. Along comes Jeffrey Beaumont, home from university to visit his father. He's just walking through the back roads and into town to visit his dad, who is in traction in the hospital.
So what I love about this moment is obviously he wants us to understand that Jeffrey is this sort of picture of innocence. Mm-hmm. And there is no better way to do that than when he gets to the hospital, he won't go in the room. The doctor has to sort of like take his arm and guide him forward. It's like just the sight of his father having sort of suffered this sort of physically altering moment is so upsetting for him. And it, because this whole movie is going to be his descent into violence, that it's a great way to kind of kick it off.
Yeah. Also, there's a thing a thing that he's also doing right out of the gate is he makes this movie like a real sort of kitsch approach to time.
Yes, it's very odd because it's such a conflict with each other. Like the 50s-ness of it. It has a 50s aesthetic, and then they'll cut to a scene of like girls with big hair and a lot of makeup on.
Yeah.
It's cool, and it's obviously very deliberate.
Pop music from the 60s. There's all this like 50s decoration and fashion, particularly in Jeffrey's parents. But he's like very much like
Jeffrey and Sandy's relationship feels very malt shop.
Yeah. It's so weird. So yeah, he on his way home walks past the same yard of junk that he passed on the way to the hospital. Takes a moment to throw some rocks at a bottle in the lot, and after digging through the grass a bit, he comes upon a severed human ear covered in ants.
Moldy?
No, it's dirty.
Okay. It looks like mold.
It does, yeah. He looks around, finding a paper bag nearby, and gingerly places the ear inside.
Picks it up with his bare fucking hand.
Yeah, hey, pro tip out there. You find a severed body part of any kind, don't touch it. You don't know where that shit's been.
You go and fetch the law, and you let them deal with it. That is what they're there for.
They can handle the severed body parts. Mm-hmm. That's not your responsibility. So he takes to see Detective Williams at the police station, and they exchange pleasantries, being that they're neighbors, and then he presents him with the ear.
And Detective Williams is completely unmoved by the ear.
He looks at it. He's like,
that's an ear.
It's an ear. Just as you said. I take it to the coroner's office to see what they can make of it.
Is it common to bring teenagers to the coroner's office with you?
No, but it's also not common to take teenagers to crime scenes, which happens a lot in this movie.
Yeah.
The coroner tells them nothing of real value, except that no bodies have come in lately missing an ear. Now, later on, Jeffrey announces that he's going out for a walk to his mother and Aunt Barbara. And he hits the quiet streets of Lumberton by night. Thinks about the ear, and we see it in close-up, zooming into the ear canal.
If I found a loose human ear in an abandoned lot, I'd probably be pretty obsessed with it too.
Probably.
It's like, what's that all about?
It makes an impression for sure, because there are times in this movie where like it seems very extreme. Part of his brain should have come into the picture at a certain point and been like, you're going to get killed if you keep looking into this. But there are parts of him that I can certainly identify with. Like occasionally there will be something mysterious presented to me, and I will think about that shit a lot. Like I want to know. I want answers, but I never get them.
Nope.
No.
That's the mystery of the world,
So he thinks about the ear, and we see it close up, zooming in on the ear canal into the dark. He arrives at the detective's house. This is, by the way, a transition scene. We are moving into a new place, going into the underworld. He arrives at the detective's house, is greeted at the door by his daughter, Sandy. Williams tells him that even though he's interested in the case, can't tell him anything, and he'd appreciate it if he didn't ask.
Fair enough.
Yeah. Yeah, like, hey, thanks for the tip. Go home.
Yeah.
Do normal kid stuff.
Yeah.
On the way out, he's intercepted by Sandy, who emerges from the darkness, asking if he's the one who found the ear.
It's great because just as she comes out of the dark, the music swells in this kind of big, epic way.
Yeah. They walk and they talk. She remembers him from high school. The conversation turns to the ear. She hears her father talking on the phone about it. She keeps hearing about a woman who sings at a nightclub. The police have been watching her apartment, but she doesn't know what they're looking for. So Sandy takes Jeffrey over to the singer's apartment building and points it out to him. Then they walk past a house and Jeffrey points it out. He knows the kid who lived there. He had the biggest tongue in the world.
Is this all feels ad-libbed to me?
Probably was. Either
like
that,
this,
either that, or it was
chicken walk thing. That's very odd.
Yeah, it had to be because there was apparently when they were screen testing him and Isabella Rossellini, like all of their interactions were ad-libbed. They were not given script pages.
Oof.
In the morning, Jeffrey works at his dad's hardware store. His dad has 2 employees who are pretty happy to see Jeffrey. One of them is a blind man who can tell how many fingers Jeff is holding up. And if you look closely, you can see his friend tap his arm 4 times. Jeffrey is amazed by his talent and continues setting up the bug spraying equipment. He drives his convertible over to the high school as classes are getting out. Sandy is there and he intends to buy her lunch. He just needs to talk to her about something. Then she swears her friends with the poodle hair to secrecy about this because he's just a friend and her boyfriend might get upset.
Yeah.
They go to Arlene's diner and he springs his plan on her, a sneaky plot to get into the nightclub singer's apartment to see what he can learn about her and what she might have to do with the ear.
I mean, it's pretty classic. This is pretty classic shenanigans.
It's a little Hitchcock, you know. Mm-hmm. It's Rear Window.
Yeah.
But Sandy hesitates. This is dangerous. Jeffrey plans to get into her apartment under the pretense of being a pest exterminator. While he's in there doing his thing, Sandy will knock on the door, pretending to be a Jehovah's Witness, and while the lady's distracted, he'll unlock a window so he can sneak back in later, you know, like the BTK killer.
That's right.
He
stole her driver's license.
They drive over to the apartments and put his plan into motion. Jeffrey takes his spraying equipment and gets her name, Dorothy Valens, on the 7th floor.
Dorothy Valens' her apartment just screams 1980s.
It's
wall-to-wall carpet.
It's crazy. It's also all totally a soundstage.
Mm-hmm.
He climbs the steps to her place and knocks on the door. And the camera pulls in tight as she answers, and she lets him in, followed by his ruse, or his cunning attempt to trick her. She watches nervously as he does his thing until there's another knock at the door. But it's not Sandy. It's a man in a yellow coat. They leave the apartment for a moment, and while she's gone, Jeff steals a key from under the counter. And when he's done, he makes his getaway and meets Sandy on the steps, revealing the keys. In the car, he reveals his plan to sneak back into her place with the key and then drives her home, warning that this could get dangerous. And she's still in, though. They plan to have dinner at the Slow Club, where Dorothy sings.
Their dynamic is really cute.
Yeah.
Because it's very wholesome.
It's very wholesome, and he's setting that up on purpose because Jeffrey's gonna flip the script in a little while.
He's gonna have a less wholesome relationship.
It's gonna get pretty dreary. That night they hit up the nightclub and drink some Heineken beer. Jeffrey,
I love as he says, "Man, I like Heineken. Do you like Heineken?" And she sort of gives her, I've never had one. And what I love about it, I don't know if this is intentional. It probably wasn't. I mean, the line is intentional, obviously, but it makes him sound very young, like very inexperienced.
Yeah. Yeah. Man, I just love Heineken. Like he might as well be in there being like, man, I just love Miller Lite.
Yeah. I love a beer. Can I have a beer?
One beer, please. And then she's like, no, my dad drinks Budweiser. And he's like,
King of beers.
The king of beers. The club's MC introduces Dorothy, and she comes out in a slinky black dress. Bathed in blue light, she sings a sultry version of the Tony Bennett song made popular by Bobby Vinton in 1963, Blue Velvet.
Apparently, this took them forever to record because she could not sing. Kind of weird to cast her as a singer when she can't sing at all. Like she really couldn't.
No, you can hear it. Like she's not on key.
And so they were like, all right, we'll just get someone else to do it, and we'll just do voiceover. And David Lynch was like, no, it is she has to do it. And so Badalamenti sat down with her and recorded her singing just 1 or 2 lines at a time.
Yeah.
Which is why it sounds that way. And then he cut the whole thing together. It must have taken hours.
Did you know that Appetite for Destruction was recorded that way?
My God.
Yeah, Axel would just sing a line, and then like they would cut, and they would punch in another line, they would punch in another line. It took fucking forever.
Jesus.
So yeah, they leave in the middle of the song and drive over to Dorothy's place. Sandy tries to talk him out of his plan. This is crazy. He tells her to beat it, and he'll talk to her tomorrow. She says she doesn't know if he's a detective or a pervert. Hot tap girl, it's the latter.
But, you know, it can be both. It's a 1986. Come on.
He goes up and knocks on the door, to be sure. Finding no answer, he uses the key to let himself into the apartment and has a look around. He finds a child's bedroom. Having to pee from drinking all that Heineken, he uses...
I thought, and during the scene, because I looked away, when I looked back, he is peeing, and there's a plant that's like obviously on the back of the toilet or whatever. And I was like, is he peeing in her plants? They put a bunch of cocoa powder in her vents.
Yeah, no, he remarks as he's going, he's like, love that Heineken.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, he uses the bathroom and flushes the extremely loud toilet. Sandy honks the horn outside to warn him that Dorothy has returned, but he can't hear it over the loud toilet. So he's still sneaking around the apartment when she is delivered by a mysterious man. So he hides in a nearby closet. Dorothy begins to undress and is about to open the closet when the phone rings. She's very formal with whoever is on the other line, addressing the caller as Sir. It's a man named Frank, and she apparently sang Blue Velvet for him. She asks to speak to her husband, Don, and then she asks to speak about her son, Donnie. They're both being kept by this Frank guy. We can't hear the other side of the conversation, but something is wrong with her husband. She speaks with Frank again, telling him that Mommy loves him, and hangs up.
Ugh.
Goddamn. Yeah, the mommy stuff is... So Jeffrey watches her collapse on the floor crying. She pulls off her wig and wraps herself in a towel before opening the closet. And Jeff hides deeper in the closet as she grabs a blue velvet robe. He shifts in there. The noise alerts her to his presence. She carefully goes to the kitchen, grabs a knife, and then throws open the closet door. Pulls him out, holds him at knife point, demanding to know who he is. She wants to know who sent him. Is he some kind of pervert who sneaks into ladies' homes to watch them undress?
I mean, in a sense, yeah.
He seems to be very interested in her taking off her dress. Jeffrey stammers and manages to squeak out his defense. He only wanted to see her, he says. So she then demands that he undress, and he does as he's told.
Must have been so awkward.
I know. She's like right there, right in front of the business. She pulls his boxers down and tells him not to move, not to look at her. And then she pulls him to the couch and climbs on top of him. It's all going perfectly weird and sexy until there's a knock at the door. She tells Jeff to get in the closet and be quiet, or he'll kill him, she says. Mm-hmm. So with Jeff secreted away, she answers the door, and Frank enters. He's a loud, abusive dude who demands he call her daddy, and then turns off the lights. And he says,
Daddy, you shithead, where's my bourbon?
Where's my bourbon?
Which, of course, always reminds me of sheer terror.
I always remember Mr. Bungle.
That's Don't You Fucking Look at Me.
Yeah. So she gives him a glass of bourbon and tells her to spread her legs for him.
So apparently when they recorded this, or they shot this film, this is, I think, the first time that they had
ever done anything together. This is them meeting one another.
And she was not wearing any underwear.
Oh my God. Yep. And this, yeah, as she looks at him and he snaps at her, don't you fucking look at me. He then produces a breathing mask and a tank of something. And he breathes the gas deeply, turning in even weirder, calling her mommy and hitting her for looking at him. This
scene is real gross. Like, I imagine when people were really put off by it, it's probably this scene.
It's that this really stuff. With. Yeah.
But like this one specifically, like this particular scene is pretty awful.
He demands blue velvet, and she places a strip of the robe in his mouth. And then he throws her on the floor, menacing her with a pair of scissors, and then violently rapes her while Jeff watches from the closet, horrified.
And the noises he's making are so gross. Yeah, Dorothy seems unwell as a person.
Well, he's taken her husband and her son.
That's true.
So Frank collects himself and then leaves, and Jeffrey emerges from the closet and helps Dorothy up and lays her on the sofa. He holds her, consoling her. She removes her robe, inviting him to touch her, demanding that he hit her.
And I think this is where she's like, do you like talk like that? And my note was like, no, lady, that's a very niche audience you're looking for.
An audience of one. Mm-hmm. Jeffrey resists and gets his clothes on as she retreats to the bathroom and announces that he's leaving. But before he goes, he looks under the sofa to see what it was that she stashed under there, finding a photo of her husband and son. In the night, Jeffrey dreams of everything that happened.
Well, so also in the end, so he leaves and we get another one of those him under the streetlight.
Yeah.
And it kind of like everything around him is black. So what I wonder is, what are we transitioning in and out of? Because it's much clearer in other movies when he does this. Here, it's not so clear where we're going back and forth from.
The way that I'm interpreting this is that he is sort of going, he comes and goes into a sort of, a sort of underworld, because the way, like, I've got some notes a little later on, because we're going to actually kind of see Lumberton by night, and it's a very strange, very alien place that just kind of like looks differently. But my kind of interpretation of this is just in the way that David Lynch does a lot of things where like things can mean two things in this movie. Like there is very much a literal story being told here about a woman being sort of held captive and used as sort of like a slave to this absolute fucking maniac drug dealer. But also Frank is a piece of Jeffrey's like dark side. Okay. And so when he kind of leaves and you see him sort of either descending into the darkness or emerging from the darkness, it's him kind of either coming into Frank or putting that part of him away.
I view the whole movie as sort of the process by which innocence is tainted by violence.
Yeah.
And so, because I kind of noted all these times when, we're moving back and forth, and it always seems like he's moving into that kind of violent world, and then back out of it to normal lumber.
Oh, sure, yeah, because I mean, the popular interpretation of this movie is very literal, where it's like this, like he shows this he portrays Lumberton and is this really kind of silly.
It's very corny,
very syrupy, corny way, but just in the daytime. But the point that he's trying to make is that even in these sort of exurbs, these places where people have fled the cities to, they've all got a dark side too, no matter how fucking, lily white it all seems. Mm-hmm. So yeah, he dreams of everything that just happened. He emerges from the darkness in all black. He sees Frank back in the apartment, roaring like an animal. He sees Dorothy telling him to hit her, and then Frank hits him in POV. So in the morning, Jeffrey calls Sandy to tell her that he wants to see her and fill her in on the details. He's disturbed and tells her about Dorothy's husband and son. He thinks that
this
Frank
is definitely not the story Sandy was expecting.
No, I gotta, at a certain point, like nobody in this guy's life, like not even himself, is like, you should maybe back off of this. She wants to tell her dad this, but he can't because he found all of this terrible information illegally and also can't prove any of it. Jeffrey can't believe that a man like Frank even exists. Sandy comforts him, telling him that she had this dream where the darkness covered the world and light and love was represented by robins, the birds,
Sandy, no one likes to hear about other people's dreams.
And then out of the darkness flew all these robins, which filled the dark world with light.
And then he says, "You're a beautiful girl." And she says, "You're also a beautiful girl."
So Jeffrey returns to the apartment, finding Dorothy home.
Girl, what are you doing going back into her apartment?
He can't stay away. Got to have that. She's like, she represents like darkness and danger, and she's very enticing. She lets him in, asking him why he's here. She likes him and actually looked for him in the closet that night. They kiss awkwardly, and then later on they go to the slow club, and he watches her sing from the bar. Looking into the crowd, Jeffrey sees Frank sitting at a table near the stage, sadly watching Dorothy sing. He holds a scrap of her robe in his hand. When the show is over, Jeffrey stakes out the club from the parking lot and watches Frank exit the club with his crew of flunkies. They pile into a car and tear off into the night, so Jeffrey follows them back to their lair, a shadowy building near a lumber yard. He sneaks up to the building and finds Frank's full name on the door, Frank Booth. Continues to stake the place out in the morning, then goes over to the school to pick up Sandy. Her football-playing boyfriend notices.
Just one look, the betrayal was apparent.
They go to Arlene's, and he tells her everything that he saw. He took pictures of all the people coming and going. There's a guy that he calls the Yellow Man on account of the yellow coat that he wears. This is where
she goes. She's like, you must love mysteries. And he's like, yeah, I love mysteries. It's like, bitch, read a book. Don't go getting involved in some weird kidnapping plot.
There's so many mystery novels out there.
God.
He sees the Yellow Man go into the office with Frank. Later on, we see the Yellow Man come out and meet up with a well-dressed man with an alligator briefcase. They go up some steps and look off in the distance where earlier that day there was a murder where a drug dealer was killed. Sandy can't believe that Jeffrey is still in the game. What does he plan on doing with all this information? Are you going back to her apartment? Why? He tells her that he's become obsessed with this. Yeah.
I feel like Sandy is really the audience proxy.
Yeah, I think so as well. Because like at a certain point,
she's the only one who's like, what the fuck are you doing?
Yeah, because at a certain point, he becomes very alienating to the audience. Like obviously, like we're talking about this where like we cannot understand why he keeps subjecting himself to this. So he's found this mystery that he can't look away from. He's seen something in this town that has always been there, but was hidden from him. Jeffrey joins Sandy in her seat and he kisses her.
But also, Jeffrey, you're like 18 years old. Of course it was hidden from you. You were a child.
Yeah. That night he returns to Dorothy's apartment and enters. They don't say a word. Instead, Jeffrey advances on her like an animal and they embrace. She pulls him into the bedroom and then they have sex. And she asks him.
Like, oh, she's listening to Blue Velvet when he goes in there. And I was like, God, Dorothy's life is just this one song. It's kind of depressing.
What else you got? You got any Burt Bacharach in here?
Ooh.
So she pulls him into the bedroom. They have sex. She asks him if he's a bad boy. Do you want to do bad things?
Again, no, Dorothy, again, that's a small pool of people.
She wants him to hurt her, but he resists. He wants to help her and go to the police. And then she freaks out and pushes him out of bed, provoking him until he hits her several times and then resumes with violent, super slow-mo animal fucking in the same style that we saw Frank in Jeffrey's dreams doing.
He said that was the hardest part to film.
I would imagine. I would imagine. That's gotta be weird.
Because she was like, just actually hit me. And he was like, I can't do that.
Yeah. Yeah, no fucking way. And then when they're done, she says something real fucking weird.
Oh, it's so gross.
She says, I have your disease in me now.
You're my special friend.
My special friend. What do you think she means by the disease?
I think she's talking about violence. Because she says it about Frank, too.
Yeah. Yeah, because I this is me going back to the idea that Frank and Jeffrey are kind of the same person. And she is also, like, when we first meet her, before we've even seen Frank interact with her, like, she does things that he does to her.
Mm-hmm.
Don't look at me. Take your clothes off. Don't look at me. Stuff like that.
But she's doing it in a much more passive way.
Right, because it's not really a part of her. It's her.
Like, even when she tells him to take his clothes off, she's kind of doing it in self-defense.
Yeah.
But there is, I think obviously the kind of core thing here is that how far people go down this path into violence and sort of criminality will kind of define who they are and who they become. Frank is clearly someone who is surrounded by nothing but this. He is the kind of full extent of violence.
He is a force of nature. He's not really a person.
Right. And the Jeffrey character is someone who gets dragged in, but eventually pulls himself back out of it. He has he has people like Sandy around him. It's that idea of the Robins and all that. But he's still gone through. I mean, we'll obviously get to that at the end, but he's still gone through it. And so he is changed by it. And she's very similar, as she is, she's had these things that are important to her taken away, and now all she has in her life is violence. And so she is becoming that as well.
All right. Yeah. Okay. I like that. When they're done, Jeffrey sits on the sofa and plays with a propeller hat that he found on the floor. Dorothy pulls it out of his hand suddenly. He tells her that he's leaving. She makes a weak argument to keep him there, calling him her special friend.
Ugh.
I know. So
I still have you inside of me. Ugh. Don't say stuff like that.
Oh, God, yeah. As Jeffrey leaves the apartment, Frank turns the corner with his crew, wants to know who this fuck is. She tells him...
they are also like a pack of animals.
Yeah. Yeah.
Because they're just like laughing and cackling and
at a certain point, like I don't when we only meet a few sort of denizens of Lumberton by night, and I refer to them as like creatures.
Mm-hmm.
Yep, she tells him that he's just a neighbor. It's no big deal. So Frank offers to take him out for a nice little drive.
Oh, no.
They throw him in Frank's Charger and they hit the road, spinning tires and tearing through the streets of the city, which is conspicuously empty at this time of night. Where should we go? We should go to Ben's. And then somebody says, hey, we might be killed. So they stop by Ben's place. This is it, he says, and there's a little sign in the window that just says, this is it.
This is probably the best part of the movie.
This is my absolute favorite part of the movie. This is one of my favorite scenes of any movie anywhere because of how off balance you are watching this.
Yes, Dean Stockwell fucking nails this.
Amazing.
Mm-hmm.
Frank sends Raymond
Child actor Dean Stockwell.
Thelemite, a devotee of Aleister Crowley, Dean Stockwell. So Frank sends Raymond off to get some beer. What kind of beer you like, Jeffrey? He says Heineken very quietly.
Heineken? Fuck that shit! Pabst Blue Ribbon!
Neither one, y'all.
The old PBR.
Have some self-respect.
So Ben's place is a strange oasis in the nightmare world of Lumberton by night. It's a bunch of old ladies just hanging out in this remarkably empty retro fashion house. They clear out as soon as Frank enters. I think it's supposed to be a brothel.
Yes, it is.
Yeah.
And in the original script, they were all supposed to die. They were all like, I think the original script, they went in there and shot everybody. Or like they shot everybody and then they leave or something.
Oh, shit.
After, like, that's how it ends. But yes, it is supposed to be a brothel, which makes it even stranger that they're all old women.
Because they're all just like old ladies.
Yeah, and Dean Stockwell's makeup is nuts.
Here we go. Ben, a criminal acquaintance of Frank's, is an oddly dressed man in a smoking jacket and a ruffled shirt. He wears a ton of pancake makeup and eyeliner, and his lips are rouged, which is hastily applied and has an effeminate manner about him. And he smokes a cigarette on a long holder. Nothing about him.
I feel like this is a character that will influence countless game designers, like video game designers. Like this kind of, you see this in so many games where it's like this guy was a little bit faggy, but like he's got the ruffled shirt, the heavy makeup, he's weird and crazy. Like it is shorthand for crazy.
Hideo Kojima has made this character 10,000 fucking times in his games. Yeah, there is a sort of shorthand in Japan when they whenever they make a villain in like an anime or a video game or even a movie. A lot of the times, like I think of Sephiroth from Final Fantasy VII, where he's just this kind of very, very femme dude, very androgynous, long hair, very.
And there's a lot of weird misogyny and homophobia wrapped up in all of this as well.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. I get a little bit of that in this character, but at the same time, I don't.
I think he's just supposed to be this kind of bizarro eccentric.
He's this just weirdo.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like he's kind of Liberace-ish. Like I feel like he's more channeling a certain type of man that he had probably seen a lot. I don't think he's doing it maliciously. I don't think he's implying anything negative other than obviously he's a criminal. But like, I think it's just like he found that a compelling aesthetic. And so he's kind of like taking Liberace up to an 11.
He's, because like so far, the only sort of criminal element of Lumberton that we've seen is Frank and his guys. And Frank is the Tasmanian devil. Every other word is fuck. Like he really brings the market value down on that word in this movie. It's every other word that he says. And then we come into this place and we meet another one of the criminals, but Ben is quiet and
yeah, he's, it's Robert Loggia in Lost Highway. Very similar.
Yeah, I can see
very
that.
Femmy, very kind of dangerous,
extremely dangerous.
Unstable.
Yeah, like extremely dangerous, but like friendly.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, he's just trying to make you feel off balance with this. And that's why I fucking love this scene is tonally, it's so strange. And yeah. So they quietly menace and threaten Jeffrey while making weird pleasantries with Frank. Frank's old lady brings out some glasses and Ben's old lady brings out some glasses and Frank loses his cool over how long it's taken to get some beer in him.
That beer's gonna get warm. One thing I can't fucking stand is warm beer. It makes me fucking puke.
Right, darling, where's the glasses?
They then share a toast. Here's to your fuck, Frank. Mm-hmm. When Jeffrey doesn't share in the toast, Frank punches him in the face and corrects his rude ways. And then Ben also punches Jeffrey. Frank and Ben meet on the side. Ben hands over a wad of money and a bag of presumably heroin. Then Frank tells a vague story about how a man named Gordon relieved a rival dealer of his drugs, and then has his men release Dorothy so she can see her son, who is being kept here.
That's the rival drug dealers, the thing he's talking about earlier in the day, right?
Is the guy that is the murder scene.
With the lady, they break her legs.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. She disappears behind a door, and we hear her and her son. She's excited, but his reaction to her, which we don't see, is upsetting to her for some reason. Meanwhile, Frank puts on a Roy Orbison tape. Ben grabs a shop light and lip syncs the song In Dreams into the light.
So apparently, originally, he was supposed to do this with a microphone.
But he grabbed a shop light and was just like doing it. And they were like, that's bad. That's awesome. That's perfect.
He said he was like fucking around one day and David Lynch looked over and was like, ooh, I like that even better. And it makes it weirder because it changes. Like if he had a microphone, it would have changed the scene because you'd think, why does he have a microphone if he's not actually a singer?
Yeah.
But the light makes it even stranger.
Yeah. The very first time I ever saw this movie was I was in high school and I rented it. And this, not just this scene, but this part of the movie really affected me and like really stuck with me because of how strange it is. Because he's holding it and the light is facing him. And so it's also like illuminating his face. Mm-hmm. And like this scene is ordinarily, it's very well lit. So you see everything. But when he puts the light in his face, you really see the extent to which he's made up. And it's even weirder.
Yeah.
Frank is just enraptured by this performance. He's just a little guy who loves music. That is until the song somehow upsets him and he shuts it off. He says his line again. Now it's dark. So it's time to go. They're showing their neighborhood here a good time and taking them out for a joyride. And then,
They have picked up a lady. Though.
Oh, that's right. They bring one out. They bring one of Ben's ladies with them.
Mm-hmm.
And then Frank announces, let's fuck. I'll fuck anything that moves. And then they literally vanish from the room.
Let's fuck! I'll fuck anything that moves!
They just kind of bamf right out of the movie. Interesting choice.
Out on the streets, they're flying down the road. They're barely under control. Dorothy looks back to check on Jeffrey, which infuriates Frank. They pull over, and he whips out the gas mask again, breathing deeply of whatever the nightmare gas is. And he tells Jeffrey with his eyes wide, you're like me, which is what clues me into the whole you and me are the same person kind of thing. Mm-hmm. And then he proceeds to, again, doing the like baby thing, proceeds to sexually abuse Dorothy in front of everybody in this packed car. So being stuck in the car with someone driving like a maniac was allegedly inspired by Lynch's first meeting with George Lucas when he was under consideration for Return of the Jedi. Lucas, a fast car enthusiast, apparently drove like a fucking madman as they talked in the car.
Scary.
You don't expect that from George Lucas. He's such a sedate guy. So having enough, Jeffrey tells them to leave her alone. Big mistake.
And hey, man, you should not interrupt Frank when he's in character.
He is. He's gassed up. He's ready to go. Jeffrey punches Frank in the face. An even bigger mistake. They drag him out of the car. Frank messily applies lipstick to his entire mouth, kissing Jeffrey on the face several times. They put on
behind them. The lady is now on the roof of the car dancing.
Yep.
She probably has the most awkward role in the entire movie.
Yeah, her role is to be oblivious while terrible things are happening around her. They put on In Dreams again on the car stereo. Frank tells Jeffrey, don't be a good neighbor. You'll get a love letter. A love letter is a bullet from a gun straight to the heart. And then the song plays on and Frank speaks along. In dreams, I walk with you, talk to you. In dreams, you're mine. Again, reinforcing my idea that these are the same people.
I think all three of them are the same person. I think
Dorothy's a part of it as well?
Yes.
Okay. Sure. Yeah, I can see that. Yeah. So, Frank stuffs the scrap of blue velvet into Jeffrey's mouth. Then he flexes his muscles and demands that his boys feel his biceps.
That also feels like an ad-libbed moment.
It was. It's such a fucking funny moment. Then they kick the shit out of Jeffrey until he passes out. Now, in the morning, he wakes up on the ground, beat to shit, and he walks home. He sits on his bed, haunted by the previous night, by all the stuff he's exposed himself to, and the truths about him that it revealed, and he sobs. Later on,
it's a pretty hard scene.
It is like it feels real. Like he is emotional. Later on, he calls Sandy and tells her that he learned a lot last night and that he wants to tell her father, but hesitates because he doesn't want her to get into trouble too. Goes down to breakfast where his mother and aunt are having breakfast. They see him and are shocked.
Frances Bay is one of my favorite characters in the movie. His aunt.
Aunt Barbara.
Yeah.
She's such a funny fucking character because her whole role the whole time is like, hey, what happened?
Yep.
Jeffrey goes to the police station with an envelope of photos he took of Frank's office, passes an office and spots the man in the yellow in one of the office sitting at his desk. He's a cop. Yeah, he's a cop. And what's more, his last name is Gordon. He's Frank's man on the inside. He's also Detective Williams's partner.
Yes.
Yeah. He's Frank's man on the inside. He's the guy who killed the drug dealer across town. So he goes to Sandy's house to personally hand over the photos to Detective Williams, hands over a photo of Frank, and then Frank and another man, the photo of Gordon, the man in yellow. Williams makes a face like he recognizes him, but he says nothing.
And Sandy just can't be fucking cool in this scene. She's like, what? Who is this guy? I don't know you.
No, there's a third photo of Gordon with a third man that he calls the well-dressed man. So, Jeffrey, that is such a Lynchian name, too. It's always
the
like
fact that he says it that way and then he says it again at the end.
Yeah.
Like it's a proper noun.
The well-dressed man. Because like he does that like in Twin Peaks, the man from another place,
mm-hmm.
You know, the man with one arm. There's like all that shit. So Jeffrey lays out this theory that they're holding Dorothy's family hostage. And then he promises the detective that he is finished with this detective game that he's playing. Guess what? He's not.
Nope.
Then Jeffrey leaves, confirming his date with Sandy on the way out. Back at home, Jeffrey waters the grass, visits his father at the hospital, and resumes his regular life in general. On Friday night, he goes by Sandy's place to pick her up for the date, and he finds the police there, finds Sandy ready to go. He also finds Gordon there and is shocked. Detective Williams tells him to be cool.
Mm-hmm.
On the way out of the house, Gordon looks Jeffrey over like he recognizes him too, but I don't know where he would have seen him yet, unless it's like some scene that was cut.
When he's in the apartment, when he's doing his fumigating.
Oh, right.
Thing.
When he was spraying.
He's the guy who comes in.
Yeah. They drive out to a high school party. Jeffrey is now taken to wearing darker clothes. Drives his car through the empty nighttime streets of Lumberton and is seen calling back to Frank at the wheel of his own car. They drop in on a high school basement party where it is positively scandalous that she showed up with a university dude who is not her boyfriend.
That's right.
Girls with the poodle hair are shocked.
Yep. Then she says she loves him. And I said, girl, it has been like 3 weeks. I guess that's the power of Julie Cruz.
They're just so I know. You can't resist that dreamy nonsense.
It's a great song, though.
It is a pretty good song. I've got that Drifting into the Night record. It's really good. So they share a dance to one of those ethereal, beatless Julie Cruz songs that David Lynch becomes famous for in the Twin Peaks days. She was a collaborator with Badalamenti, right?
She was a student that he, I think, taught. And then they did start collaborating a lot.
She's got such a weird voice.
Because she comes to him through Angela Badalamenti.
Yeah.
Whose real name is like Andy something.
They kiss and express their love for one another. And then they leave the party and find themselves followed by another car that honks and drives wildly, bumping them from behind. Jeffrey thinks that it's Frank. I mean, who else could it be? And then the car pulls alongside them, and Sandy sees the driver. It's Mike, her football boyfriend.
I love it when like she sees that that's who it is, and they're both just like, "Oh, thank fucking God."
He's pissed that Jeffrey snatched his girl out from under him, and he plans to kick his ass. His gormless meathead friends cheer him on, but things get weird when Dorothy Valance, dazed, bruised, and naked, stumbles out of the bushes.
So there's a story. So this scene, where it comes from, is this is something that happened to him when he was a child. He was walking home from school or something, and he said he saw a woman walking down the street nude.
Yeah, it was him and his brother were walking down the street in the middle of the night. And this
I thought he was walking home. Yeah, I guess so.
And this woman just emerges from the darkness, just naked. And he was
he said it was extremely traumatic and it made him cry. And he said he didn't know what was wrong with her, only that something very wrong was happening. And I was like, that is a perfect way to phrase that.
I can totally connect with that thought. Like there have been definitely times, like usually because I was on drugs and out in the middle of the night with my friends, but like when you are out late on drugs with your friends in the middle of the night, you only sort of run into other fucking weirdos and other people on drugs, and just the strangest, most upsetting shit happens in those scenarios.
And it's like, not only is the whole scene off, but like he knows that something bad has happened to her and that something bad might then happen to them. Like, it must have been very distressing. I mean, he's a child. But Isabella Rossellini said this was sort of sad that this is the way it played out. Was they when they filmed this scene?
Oh, I couldn't fucking believe this.
Yeah, they tried to like be a little discreet because she's fully nude in this scene,
completely naked, bush just out there.
Everybody had shown up and like brought their lunch and shit, and so they tried to kind of be like, "Hey guys, would you mind like clearing out?" And they would just be like, "Oh no, we're so excited to watch them make this movie," and people were like really into it. Even though she was clearly distressed by like the fact that they're filming this.
She talked to Lynch, and Lynch was to talk to the producers. The producers had the PAs go over and be like, "Listen, you guys should probably get out of here. This is going to get weird." And they were like, "Oh no, hey, making a movie." All these fucking yokels from Wilmington. And then Rossellini herself addressed some of them and was like, "Hey, like,
do you mind?
Go away." But the thing that I find really kind of weird about this is like, I know that you can't really do a closed set out in public, but surely they had somebody there to just be like, "Get the fuck out of here."
Yeah.
But no.
And I don't know if like maybe they didn't want to, get off on the wrong foot with the locals or whatever. Yeah. But like the fact that it just sort of unfolds that way and she becomes this spectacle who is clearly not okay with it. It's like, that's pretty gross.
Like this is the first movie that she has been really called upon to do nude scenes, and not just nude scenes, like really fucking upsetting, very like that put her in a very vulnerable state. Like she's still like not like she's very early in her career, and suddenly there's all these fucking locals just hanging out watching her butt naked in the in this scene. That's got to be fucked up.
Yeah. And so I guess that, that's why she takes the brunt of a lot of the negative criticism is like, oh, she's a woman. Like, she's a slut because she does these nude scenes. And it's like, that takes a fuckload of like honesty and vulnerability to be able to like get up and do those scenes at the direction of a man. Like, fuck all those people.
Yeah. So Jeffrey runs to her and they put her in the car, and Mike's nasty vibe has just melted away, clearly just weirded out by the injured naked lady that broke up.
Yeah, he starts apologizing to him. And he's just like, whatever, man, just get the fuck out of here.
Yeah. In the car, Dorothy suddenly realizes that it's Jeffrey that helped her out. They drive her over to Sandy's place where things just get even worse.
And he's trying to downplay how well he knows Dorothy, but she clearly realizes something's going on.
She just blows the lid off the whole thing. She declares him her secret lover in front of Sandy. He put her disease in her, she says, to Sandy. And then
she's also very obviously like
she's in shock,
having a psychotic episode.
Yeah.
Because it's unclear who she's really talking about. Because in like a few more minutes, she'll be like, "Wait, you're Jeffrey."
Yeah, yeah. She freaks out, telling him that she loves him and that he must love her too. Sandy understandably sobs at the sight of Dorothy, freaking out at the prospect of the police coming to help her. But it's
a very sad scene.
It's pretty awful. Like very affecting. This is just, God damn it, David Lynch. You're so good at this. So good at making movies. But they do come, and the ambulance takes Dorothy away. And then Sandy slaps Jeffrey as he tries to explain himself. Also, as the car drives away, Dorothy is screaming, "I'm falling."
Mm-hmm.
So later on, he calls Sandy and asks for her forgiveness and tells her that he loves her. And then he tells her to have her father send the cops over to Dorothy's apartment and that he's heading over there for some fucking reason.
Nope. Jeffrey, you are kind of out of your depth at this point, buddy.
It's about to get worse than it's ever been.
Yeah, this is where shit just goes way off the rails in a way that's like, what is happening?
Yeah. So Jeffrey climbs the stairs to the apartment and he lets himself in. He is at first shocked to find Gordon, the man in yellow, and a man sitting in a chair, badly beaten with a scrap of blue velvet in his mouth, dead from a gunshot wound to the head.
He's also missing his ear.
His ear is also missing. Yeah. Gordon is just standing there.
It's so awful.
Gross
and creepy.
Swaying slightly with a bad head injury.
His brain is exposed.
His brain is literally coming out of his head. He does nothing when Jeffrey enters. There's blood all over the kitchen. And Gordon, his brain, just hanging out of the head wound. Gunshot wound guy is also missing an ear. It's Don, Dorothy's husband. So Gordon's police radio chirps up. The police are at Frank's office right now. The sound causes Gordon to jerk his arm suddenly, knocking over the nearby light. They're commencing a raid on Frank's office. Over at the office, we see the police firing on it, shooting canisters of tear gas. It's shot like the final act of an old cops and robbers movie with machine guns going off and cops just diving to and fro. The song playing is Love Letters by Caddy Lester. The lyrics like love letters straight from your heart, hearkening back to Frank's monologue about love letters being bullets and all that. Mm-hmm. Jeffrey decides to leave and let the cops find Gordon and Don, but as he leaves, he sees someone coming up the steps. It's the well-dressed man from the photographs, and when seen up close, we can tell that it's Frank in a fake mustache.
In a well-dressed man disguise.
which he bought at Party City.
It really does, because he really just has fake eyebrows and a fake mustache on.
He has a police radio and is listening to everything happening at the raid. So Frank also sees Jeffrey at the top of the steps and comes running. Jeffrey hides in Dorothy's apartment and grabs Gordon's radio. He calls Detective Williams on the radio, tells him that what he's doing, and then he realizes that Frank also has a radio and is listening. He tells Williams that he's hiding in the bedroom, but then he runs to the living room and hides in the closet again.
Yeah, it's some real Hardy Boys shit.
Frank enters and removes the costume, shouting to Jeffrey in the bedroom. He recovers his scrap of velvet and then announces that he's coming to get him. As soon as
he also shoots Gordon.
That's right, which sends him flying.
Mm-hmm.
As soon as Frank is out of the room, Jeffrey sneaks out, snatches Gordon's revolver from the holster, and gets back into the closet. Frank gasses up and enters, shouting like a wild man, just firing his gun all over the room. He soon realizes Jeffrey's ruse and walks back to the front room. He gasses up some more and he approaches the closet, realizing that it's the only other place Jeffrey could be hiding. Jeffrey readies the gun. As soon as Frank opens the door, they lock eyes for a second, and then Jeffrey blasts him in the face.
And right as he does that, Sandy walks into the apartment.
Sandy and her father enter, finding Frank dead on the floor, his brains scattered all around him. And then the lights surge and go out. Now it's dark.
Mm-hmm.
Sandy and Jeffrey kiss in the black hallway until the shot fades out to white. We find the ear in the vacant lot again, or so it seems. It's actually Jeffrey's ear this time. Pulling back from it, we leave the underworld behind. He's just chilling out in a lawn chair. In the adjoining yard, Detective Williams hangs out with Jeffrey's dad, who's back on his feet after the stroke. Inside the house, Aunt Barbara points out a robin eating a beetle on the windowsill, indicating that the light and love has returned to the world. There's a montage.
Or has it?
Here's a montage of shots of normal Lumberton in daylight. Dorothy is reunited with her son. Dolly up on the clear blue sky, fade out on the blue velvet curtain, and we roll credits.
So here's my take on the beetle thing.
Yeah.
I think it is, so when we first meet Jeffrey, he can't even go into the hospital room.
Yeah.
And here we are at the very end, and they're just sort of looking at what is an act of violence in a way, and sort of cheerily commenting on it as though it's like a sign of a good thing. And it's like, I think that they've all been, this is my interpretation, is that like they've all been changed by the experience of violence now, and they kind of can't unsee it. They can't, like they are now.
In a way, they are.
It's normalized for them.
Like it's not, it's not an overt act of violence, but it is a bird.
It's a symbolic thing.
It's the bird, which, is going back to Sandy's dream. It's the light, it's love, it's goodness. But in this scene, goodness is destroying something.
Yes.
And they are just happy about it.
And so even Sandy, who has been this sort of source of goodness and light throughout the movie, she also sort of becomes tainted when she walks in and sees him shoot Frank in the head. Because it's a pretty gross moment.
It is. Like, you see all that shit go blasting out the back of his head and stuff. Like, yeah. And the fact that Jeffrey is just so casual about it, too, also says something. Like, this isn't just an act of murder. It is like a graphic death of a person that he is responsible for. And he just walks out into the hall and kisses his girl.
And I think that's what the lights being burned out is sort of like that's the final act that pushes him into this other person.
Yeah, it goes back. It's that line where he looks at him. He says, "You're like me." Mm-hmm. It's this part of him that's definitely inside of him. It is a terrible potential that Jeffrey and in by extension that all of us watching sort of have inside of us. Like every one of us has a fucking dark side of some kind.
A hell of a movie.
It's a fucking fantastic movie.
I mean, I still think it is not nearly his best, but it is shades of what's to come, and it's all very, very good.
And it's all very good. This was, I'm pretty sure this is the first David Lynch movie I ever saw. No. I saw Dune first. But I don't really consider it a David Lynch movie. It is only in the technical sense. But like, this is the first movie that first David Lynch movie that I saw that I recognize as a David Lynch movie. And so it has that sort of effect on me where it was just like, it was the first time I really got a taste of that.
I think Fire Walk with Me was the first one I saw. And I didn't like his stuff until relatively recently.
Really?
When I went back. Yeah, because I always felt like it was trying a little too hard. But I think that was because I didn't know much about David Lynch to begin with. And I think once you do learn more about him and like read interviews with him, you're like, oh no, he's very genuine about all of this. This is just kind of how his brain works.
Yeah. I love it.
I revisited it all and I was like, this is actually really interesting stuff. And then I saw Mulholland Drive again and I was like, holy shit, this movie is incredible.
Yeah. Yeah. Go on back there. Listen to our Mulholland Drive episode. That is us just heaping love upon David Lynch in that fucking movie.
Hell yeah.
Absolutely fantastic. Yeah. Blue Velvet. Here we are. So where are we watching next time?
Well, bring me the axe. Next week, we're going to be watching Alien. And then in 2 weeks, 99-cent Rental's coming back.
We're putting a dollar
sign to that classic. We're going to be watching Aliens.
Awesome. It's a 1-2 punch of Sigourney Weaver. Going to be awesome. All right. So we'll be back next week with Alien. And then we'll be back next 2 weeks with Aliens. See you then.
Dollar sign.
Dollar sign.